Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you're watching this. Really don't care as long as you're watching. Can thank y'all for coming back. If it's your first time, thank you for watching. This is Tac-Tee here. We have Senior Tac-Tee to the left or right of me. I'm not really sure this is gonna pan out, but we'll see. It should work. Today's video, we are going over concealed carry. The journey there is, myths about it, how you do it, everything about it. So let's start it off today, Dad. Um, First off, how long you been carrying and what made you start carrying?
Well, I've been carrying off and on since the 90s.
Okay.
I was a process server up in the city of New York, and you had to be licensed to be a process server up there. So when I went in to hand in my package for it, it consisted of photographs and fingerprints and like an affidavit and somebody vouched for you. So I worked for a law firm and I also did some process serving on the side. And just as a side note, process serving is when you have to serve people with lawsuits because you have a constitutional right to be served with a lawsuit. So sometimes it can be quite contentious, as I'll get to. So I went to I'm sorry, 26 Federal Plaza back in New York City, and I handed it in. And then the gentleman said, "Oh, do you also want, are you also applying for a carry permit, a wear and carry permit?" And I was surprised inwardly, but I'd already had my poker face, and I said, "Well, yes." He said, "Okay." He said, "A lot of people do because of whom you may have to serve." And so I said, "Well, what is it going to take?" And he said, "Well, pretty much the same thing that you need for this process service license, and you just have to fill out a different application." I did so right then
Mm.
and there. And he said, "Okay, well, you'll get this. We'll process this along with the process service license." Well, here's what's interesting. This shows you how different New York City was than it is now. I got my concealed carry permit before I got my laminated process service license.
Ah, gotcha.
So I was able to carry, but it was only a work carry.
Mm.
So I could carry while I was working, but working in that definition was in the duties of serving process. So since I was an integral part of my position with the law firm, I was able to carry during the day.
Mm.
And if I was doing anything outside of hours, as long as I was looking to serve somebody, that's what it was. I was able to carry. So I would have to serve, I had served divorce papers, businesses suing each other, excuse me, and divorce papers.
Mm.
And those were contentious. And back at this time, Rudy Giuliani had changed the laws stating that if your building, if a unit in your building, in the building that you owned, was caught dealing drugs like more than once. I forgot how they wrote the law, but they said, if you knew or should have known, then we still have the right to take the building from you in civil asset forfeiture. And
Mm.
so that triggered, I mean, just thousands of evictions.
Mm.
And so it was kind of dangerous. But that's the reason why I started carrying. I ended up giving that up when I left the law firm. So I only carried for about a year and a half or so. But I had
Mm.
the license. I think the license was for 4 years back then.
Okay.
And then when I came down here, I started carrying again because I'm simply a fan of bodily autonomy. You
Mm.
often hear this coming from certain circles, but I do believe that bodily autonomy is a universal and God-given right. Man did not create man, so man does not own man. I own my own body, and I should be able to defend it. And I'm also of the belief that in a civil society, those who wish to be uncivil should have to fear for their life, and therefore to make them less likely to be uncivil, and therefore nothing happens, and we have a more civil society.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So my journey started, I want to say, what year is this? This is
Oh, I'm sorry. One
2023.
last thing.
Oh, go
And
ahead, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And the Black Lives riots, as
Uh,
you well know, you knew my feelings about them from the very beginning. I've what that revealed to me was that this, in my opinion, this country is fundamentally broken.
mm.
This country, in my opinion, has fallen, and I'm not sure we're going to get up. But with that, and also realizing that I was a middle-aged man at this point, because you knew me as a nice, big, strong dad.
Mm,
But with some of the health challenges that I had, thankfully they're relatively minor. What I realized was that I can't scrap with you YNs anymore. So my thing is that I need to level the playing field. There's an old joke that says the difference between between a democracy and a republic is that in a democracy, two wolves and a sheep all get a vote on what's for dinner, and a republic is when the sheep can be armed and protest the vote.
got you. That's actually funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
I think P.J. O'Rourke, who was Bill Clinton's roommate back in college, actually came up with that quote. He's a big libertarian.
oh, oh.
Mm-hmm.
No. So my journey started 2025, 2023, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Just got married, uh, live in Virginia, um, beautiful state. Uh, but like I kept going to these rural areas and yeah, ain't nobody looked like me out there. Kept getting weird looks out there too. Have a have a white wife. I'm a big black man. Odds was in my favor. And I was like, if I gotta call the police right now, they'll be here in 5 to 10 minutes. Good time. Good time. These people already done had their way with me at that point. Okay, whatever they want to do, they done did. They done did. So I was like, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm a grown man now. I a grown man should defend themselves. They should do whatever they need to do to protect theirs and theirs. Before that, I was an individual. I lived my life as an individual. When I got married, I ceased to be an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I had a responsibility to start protecting my wife and my family from there. And I was like, well, I need to take that seriously. And I started carrying from there. Started taking classes, started looking around to see exactly what it meant to carry. Um, Went through numerous holsters. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
Went through uh did way too much education on. I was trying to find the perfect gun and all that. And we'll go through that later. But at the end of the day, the best thing I did was I purchased a firearm from a dear friend of mine. Shouts out to him. Gave me an amazing deal on it. He was moving to California, believe it or not. He was like, yo, bro, just here you go, man. Take this. Like did this, gave me a couple hundred rounds of ammunition, and that started my journey from there. And I've been in it from, ever since. I'm a strong advocate that everybody should carry, not just men, women, um, teenage, everybody that is of legal age should be able to carry, regardless of your sexual orientation, gender, whatever. I do not care. Everybody should be able to defend themselves and have that right to do so. I actually just took my wife to a woman-led concealed carry class. That was a woman-only class, and there were people from all backgrounds there. It wasn't just a lot of people will lead you to believe that it is just the right-wing Republicans that want to carry, and that is simply not true. That class is probably around 75% Democratic women with different colored hair, believe it or not. And yeah, and those people absolutely have the right to carry, and I'm proud that they went to that class. And I said every time I defend their right as much as they might not defend mine. And if they do defend mine, power to them as well. But yeah, I definitely believe that everybody should carry concealed. Open carry, we can get to that later. But that's not a video for that. We're talking about concealed carry here. So on to the next point
Well,
of this.
one of the things I wanted to say
Oh, go
was that
ahead.
there's a great quote that I heard about your desire to defend yourself, along with another point. It says that when seconds count, police are only minutes away.
Yeah,
And and I love that one because it's not a knock to police in any way, shape, or form. They're told where and when and how to patrol. So they get what they get when they get it. The coverage of police officers is often very, very low. If I'm not mistaken, I think in New York City, I think only 1 out of 5,000 people in New York City is a police officer. And then when you divide that by the amount of officers that are on at any given time, which is, a lot of people think it's a third because, there's 3 8-hour shifts. But no, when you count in leave and injury and sickness and injury, you're only looking at a quarter of the force, between 20% and a quarter of the force being on duty at any individual time, at any given time. And when you get out into these rural areas, that more directly fund their police forces, you have very low coverage. So no, it's up to you. As I like to say, the cavalry is in the mirror.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
it's not at the other end of a phone line. But the other thing that I did want to say to you is that you know I also think that it's not, although I think that you should guard yourself because first of all there are bigots and there are racists, but I don't think that that's anywhere near the black person, especially the black man's largest struggle. As you probably know from your walk, you know, white people are busy trying to keep their own lives together. They ain't worried about us. But here's the thing: if you run across one that is, like you said, you're out in the middle of nowhere. And good luck because your cell signal might not work that well out there. You you get on the phone with somebody. The two police officers on duty might already be dispatched somewhere. So yes, but at the base, yeah, I am just like you. I do strongly believe that we should be able to carry. And the other thing with the people, like you said, with the blue haired people and stuff like that, one of the issues that I think that we have is that we see a lot of political violence, in my opinion, coming from the left. The Black Lives Matter riots, destroyed cities, have broken police departments in ways that they're still not repaired, and we hear very little of that. January 6th kicks off. We know that there were federal agents involved. I mean, we know this. This is just now what their role was, whether they were there as intelligence or as provocateurs, that's yet to be seen. But we do know that they were there. I find it funny that people say that it was an insurrection. I'm like, I've never ever seen an insurrection against a country where the insurrectors were carrying that country's flag.
Mhm.
So I just find it interesting. So I do believe that they don't have much to worry about, but I do believe that we have to worry about the certain people becoming more violent against their fellow citizens for,
Absolutely.
for political reasons, not just for crimes or passion, not for crimes of either cash or passion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which is why, stay strapped out here. But while staying strapped out here, there are some myths that do come with concealed carry that we definitely want to address. I'm gonna start it off. I think the biggest myth is concealed carriers are just looking for a fight. Um, if you are trained in any type of concealed carry whatsoever, the concealed carry is the wall. That is your back against the wall. There's nothing else that you can do.
Mhm.
Um, the first thing you're taught is if it's a wallet, give it up. If it's anything you can possibly give it up, give it up. If somebody comes up to you with a gun that says, "Give me everything you got," I'm gonna get butt naked right then. I'm letting y'all know that right now, man. I'm getting butt naked right then today. None of this is worth the fight to me right here. Here you go. You want my iPhone? So be it. You want my shoes? So be it. Hey man, you having a bad night at the club? You say let's take it outside? You got it, bro. I'm gonna walk the other way. Nobody's looking for fights out here. The ones that are looking for fights are vigilantes, and they deserve proper jail time. They looking to murder somebody, in my opinion. If you're carrying around looking to use it, you looking to murder somebody the same way somebody's looking to rob somebody. That is not what this is for. This is a last resort for protecting yourself when there's no other things there. Every cop is taught de-escalation. Even the nursing were taught de-escalation. The best thing to do is just to avoid the fight altogether. This is for if you are in that fight and there's nowhere else to go. But I think that's the biggest myth is that people who conceal carry just looking for a fight. That's just simply not true. That's simple. What's one that you have?
Well, I'm of similar belief. The way that I told you guys younger is that the moral, ethical, and legal justification for the deadly use of force is when you're in a position where somebody is likely to die or suffer grievous bodily injury, and now it's just down to who's it going to be. Um, when the time to deploy deadly force has come, the outcome is usually uncertain at that time. In other words, I'm doing this because I'm about to, there's a good chance I'm about to meet my end here, and this is all I can do to try to prevent that. It is never sure. Like you said, I agree with you. You don't want to get into a gunfight because when you do, or you get into a violent conflict, rather, you never know how it's going to end up. There are many things that happen. Many good people do die. Every cop that gets shot is somebody who's armed that got shot. So that's what it is. I think that's one of the biggest things. I'm not looking for a fight, like you said. I actively look to disengage from a fight because those who employ deadly force that they indigenously have on them, in my opinion, have a significantly higher barrier to prove to prove to justify. I'm sorry, to justify their involvement, because one of the first things that many prosecutors, especially in the big cities, will ask you is, well, why were you carrying a gun?
Mm.
And so that's one of the things that we look forward to. I have absolutely no desire to take a life. As a matter of fact, I've actually talked a couple of people out of obtaining firearms because they've asked me because they know my feelings on it and my stance, and they've asked me about it. And when I spoke with them about it, one of the things that I asked them, I said, "Are you ready to look somebody in the eye and end them?" Because that's the decision that you have to make in order to morally carry a firearm. Because otherwise, you now are carrying around a deadly weapon that you're more likely to give to somebody else because they will take it from you. For a long time, the things that people stole from most frequently in homes, the things that crooks look for the most is, jewelry slash cash and firearms. Why? Because both of them can be concealed on your body and they're very easily sold. So if you're armed and if you're not capable of using it, or if you don't think that you're capable of using it, I often say, please do not carry. But yeah, but that's a very common myth that we're walking. No, no, like you said, most of the time we're like, hey, go ahead, take the wallet if you can, or this, that, and the other. A lot of times the thing is that a lot of times you tell them to take the wallet because you oftentimes if they get the drop on you. In other words, they present a weapon to you. One of the rules is that you don't try to draw, on a drawn weapon. So if somebody's already got a weapon on you, don't bother drawing, because a lot of times it's often better to give them, take your watch off or give them your wallet. Don't let them know that you're armed, because it's your job to protect that firearm.
Absolutely. If somebody got the
So
up on you and you
mhm.
try to up your firearm, you're gonna go to the upper room immediately.
You may, but sometimes
Immediately.
yeah, but sometimes you have no choice.
Absolutely. But I just
Yeah. As a matter of
I
fact,
don't.
there's a great um, channel that I would recommend to the viewers here: Active Self Protection. I think that is an excellent YouTube channel. Every day he goes over a self defense scenario, using deadly force every day.
Mm.
Active self protection on YouTube. The instructor's name is John Correa, and it shows that sometimes the winner. I'm sorry. Sometimes a good guy doesn't win, and that's why I said at the beginning, you use it when it's now a contest. And to be honest with you, the outcome is not certain, because it's only been a couple of times when I really thought about pulling my weapon out. And one time was when I was serving divorce papers, and up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. It was something out of The Sopranos. Big bull neck Italian guy comes to the door, and I had to serve him with divorce papers. He had the Rottweilers, and he's agitated. The Rottweilers get agitated. I carry the Charter Arms, 2.5-inch snub nose 357 Magnum, 6 rounds, and I had two speed loaders, each containing 5 rounds each. They were 125 grain, jacketed hollow points, and I remember saying, "I'm not getting out of this neighborhood with 18 rounds." and that's actually when I actually stopped doing process serving as a side gig.
Mm.
I said, I'm not getting out of this place with 18 rounds. So, so just because you have a gun, and I think that's another big myth. I'll take one. Another big myth is that the mere presence of having a gun guarantees your safety. It's a vicious lie straight from the pit of hell. A lot of people can go down being armed. Like I said, it gives you a chance. It doesn't give you a guarantee by any means whatsoever. It, that's why I said, to those folks, I said, "Are you ready to look at somebody and end their life?" And all of them actually were African American, and I told them, like I said, because this is the statistical fact. I said, and the person that you're most likely looking at will be a young black male. Are you ready to look him in the eye and end his life? Because that is what you actually have to think about. One of the things that really annoys me is when I hear people say, "Oh, if you brandish the firearm, that's going to end the fight. It'll chase him away." And while that's often the case, that is by no means always the case. There are many times when you have very determined assailants coming at you, or it may be somebody who's not looking to rob you. It may be somebody who's looking to intentionally do you harm for some other reason. They could have lost their mind. They could be mistaken identity. It can be a whole bunch of things. Or somebody who's just determined to take your stuff, and they're not going to take no for an answer. And they're going to say, "You're going to keep your stuff over my dead body." And so then at that point, you have to make the decision on what you're going to do. But my thought pattern on that is that, like I said, it's a contest. We're at the point now where somebody is going to get hurt. So now the only choice is, should it be the person who didn't do anything wrong or the person who did something wrong? And I think that it's only logical and it's only productive to a society that it's somebody who did the thing wrong. I, as an innocent person, should not have to bear the brunt of anybody else's emotional or mental state. Being poor is no excuse for trying to take my stuff. Even if I didn't grow up poor, it still wouldn't be an excuse to take my stuff. Donald Trump and Elon Musk and Nancy Pelosi have just as much a right to anything that they own as I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sorry if I went off topic a little.
Are you good? You good? It's all right. We're gonna get back on. Another
Mm.
myth we have. You instantly become a hero in the mass shooting. I'm gonna say something controversial, I think, but I'm gonna just be real with y'all. We have two instances that I'm gonna say. One of them I think we can agree with. One of them we might not. I don't care. We have Uvalde, where multiple police officers showed up to the scene, and
Hmm.
multiple students still died. Multiple children still died with the police right there on the scene. The people who you
Hmm.
call when 911, the people who will save you, they
Hmm.
still died with the police on the scene. And then we had the Parkland shooting in 2018, but there was a school resource officer within that school at the time of the shooting
Hmm.
who heard the shots, was on scene, and ran the clear other direction and let kids die. The mere presence, the mere fact that you have a firearm does not change the person you are.
Yeah,
If
and
you are not ready, if you're not properly trained, if
hmm
you have not put in the time there, if you have not asked yourself these questions, continuously ask yourself these questions. These aren't questions that you can ask one time and be done with. These are things you have to consciously work towards. You have to train towards to do this, to become that person. And even then, you never want to be in that situation of a mass shooting. If you are, there's a lot of things that go into that,
yeah.
and nobody has an S in their chest, and nobody's bulletproof out here.
And not just that, but in the maelstrom that is a mass shooting, you're just as likely to get shot. And the reason why I say that is that when the police roll up on the scene, or if another sheepdog, as we say in some of the prepper community, somebody who feels compelled to
Mhm.
assist, they don't know friend from they might not know friend from foe.
No, they don't. I said you ain't got no S in your chest. They don't know who you are.
Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
just
So,
another man with a gun in this place in
yep,
this random
yeah,
place?
and for those law enforcement officers, um, I found it very disheartening with both of them, more so with the multiple police officers who were in Uvalde. They were there. They heard it. They had control of the crime scene. In other words, they were on it and they knew who the actors were
Hmm.
and they knew where they were.
Hmm.
But for some reason, I think it was cowardice. And I think it was cowardice. But for some reason, they said, "Oh no, we have to wait till we get more guns here." It's like, no, it is your job to run into that danger.
I don't like people don't understand when I say this as somebody who works on the front line or somebody who works in the emergency department. I see some people, but we'll get into that later. Um, some people's job is to go into a place where you might
Yep,
die.
that's
Like
correct.
at the end of the day, you might die. That is an option in this job. It is the last option, but it is an option. It's a possible outcome in this job,
That's
and
why
it
you
is
get.
a
I'm sorry.
and but no, no, I'm just saying it is a possible outcome in this job. You signed up for that. That is to protect and serve the people of the community, especially the innocent. And when we say the innocent, these are children. These are children this happened to, and you had the clear opportunity present to you to protect these children and defend these children. And in that instance, we've seen it multiple times. But hey, these people who have signed up to do this job, who have agreed to do this job, who have been compensated to do this job,
Hmm.
and that they cannot do their job. And that firearm does not change the person that you are. Just because you have a gun, it does not make you Superman. It does not make you this invincible being. You're gonna run into this building. You're not gonna shoot anybody else. Every shot you think is gonna land onto the target that you think that you're gonna hit every time. That's just simply not true. If somebody runs in front of your bullet, what happens?
Yep.
So there's multiple people running around. This is straight chaos. There is no. This is this is not organized. Somebody's not going to say, "Oh, you're the good guy. Let me step out of your way. Here he is. Go ahead and you have a clear line of sight." It doesn't work like that. This
Yeah.
is not that situation. This
No, it
isn't
is.
Call of Duty.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You don't regenerate.
No.
But that's why in these jobs, we'll let you retire before the age of 40. That's one of the reasons why you do get qualified immunity because they're like, this is what you have to do in your position. Yeah. So that's but we all know about that, and I think Uvalde put a lot of things into perspective because remember those police officers were not charged criminally in any way, shape, or form. They were both fired and castigated as cowards, but they were not criminally charged.
No, and neither was the resource officer in
Nope.
partnership as well.
Nope. And
No.
the reason being is that I think it's good to hear the law enforcement in the United States has no legal obligation to protect any individual person. None. So
So
it's
for,
up to
so,
you.
so for everybody out there who thinks that you're gonna have this S in your chest when you get this firearm, again,
Oh no.
it's
Oh
just
no.
not true. It's just
No.
not true.
No.
It's just not true. We just want to make sure you know that. Again, we're not trying to scare anybody. We're going to give you a realistic expectation of
That's right.
what it's like to conceal carry. It's not unicorn and rainbows. You don't turn into Blade. You don't turn into the Punisher. No,
Nope.
you stay the same person, not more hyper vigilant from there
Yeah.
from going on. Let's go over one more myth. What another myth that I have, which is crazy that I have to say this. That the last myth I had was you need a huge gun to stop a threat. Okay. That
Yeah.
is that people think that you need to be out here with the Dirty Harry
Yeah.
357 Magnum on you, long nose. Okay, okay, 6-inch barrel.
Uh-huh.
With the Yosemite Sam double drawn out here to make sure
Yeah.
that you get something, or like a Desert Eagle's only stopping power.
Uh-huh.
Um, that's just simply not true.
No.
A 9 mil hollow point does stop people.
Well
Sometimes they'll
placed.
take a few rounds.
Well
Yes,
placed. Hmm.
sometimes they'll take a few rounds, but it will stop people. A 10 mil will stop somebody. 44 will stop somebody. A well-placed 22 will stop somebody as well. Um, we again, this is not Call of Duty. We are not made of iron. We are made of flesh and bone. When these things penetrate our bodies, they do just that. They go right through.
Yep.
I'm gonna let y'all know this right now. Every caliber of bullet, every single caliber of bullet
Hmm.
is lethal.
Yep.
Okay, okay, okay. Every caliber of bullet is lethal. Okay, some have
Hmm.
more lethality than others. We get to that later, but every caliber is lethal. Okay. From a 22 to a 50 cal and everything in between. It's all made to kill. It's
Yep.
all made to kill, and it can all kill. So listen to anybody say that, oh, that 22 is not going to do anything. Say it's not going to do anything. I would deplore them to stand in front of that barrel and take it to the face.
Ronald Reagan was almost taken out by 22s.
There you go. Okay, okay. Okay. I'm just keeping it real. Is it ideal to use? I would say not. I'm not a fan of rimfire for self-defense, but I would never get in front of that bear. Okay, I'll never get in front of any of these bears. To be honest with you,
Hmm.
even when I'm cleaning, I don't want to this because, like, I have no use to get in front of a barrel
No.
of any
Nope.
firearm here.
Nope.
Just to be
Nope.
clear. So, like, let's please
Yeah.
dispel that myth of, like, oh,
Yep.
you need a large gun to
Yep.
take down these people out here. I mean, you hear some, people might be on bath salts and stuff like that. I don't know what these people are nowadays. But yeah, again, like, bullets go to everybody the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, say
Pumps
that.
and pipes are still pumps and pipes.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's what we call, the center mass. There's a lot of pumps and there's a lot of pipes. You got the oxygen, rather you have the lungs that pump the oxygen, you have the stomach that pumps the food, you have the heart that pumps the blood, and then you have pipes that connect the blood and nervous impulse to all of them. So that's why you do it. And yes, I've seen people go down from 22 calibers, getting hit by 22 calibers, and I mean, and they go, there's a fibs, what they call the fibs factor, which is, oh freak, I've been shot, you know. So yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah, there's all of them are bad. I wouldn't want to get shot. Period.
There we go. There we go. That's none of these. None of
If
these.
you're going to
None.
clip anything from this, you're going to put it. You're going to make sure that this thing. I don't want to get shot. Period.
Correct. Correct. Now, what mistakes have you made carrying when you first started?
Okay. Um, Back in when I was up in New York, one of the things that I think that I did wrong was that I focused too much on concealment and
Okay.
not accessibility.
Okay.
Because I would keep it at the 4 o'clock, which is like kind of like almost right above your hip pocket.
Correct. You being the lefty, it would be
Yes.
in your 4 o'clock. Okay.
But not to be the same way on the right. It'll still be over, your rear pockets between the center of your trousers and your back and your rear pocket. Um, I did that because I thought that that's what they did. But however, getting to that was,
I'm
in
sorry.
my
You said your
opinion,
rear pocket, so that'll be more of your 1 o'clock at that point.
no, I'm thinking of 4 o'clock from me. I'm noon.
Oh, okay. Got you.
One,
Okay.
two,
Okay.
three, four.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
So actually, technically, it would be at the 8 o'clock position since I'm a lefty.
Yeah. Got you. Okay.
But I say 4 o'clock because
Hmm.
most of the world's backward.
Yeah.
So
I got
so so in doing so, it would have lengthened my draw. And looking back at it now, um, so that's what I would have done. I also didn't have good holsters for my speed loaders. I would keep them like in a jacket pocket or something, when I would have it, because I would keep them in my briefcase, and then if I was getting ready to do something, I would put them on my person.
Okay.
So um, I wasn't as good about it as I thought. And then when I got older, when I started carrying more recently, I think the biggest mistake that I made was that I started going for too small of a gun for me. Because, just like you got some big mitts, and I got large hands too. And my thing is that when we oh, let me lower my hand. I don't know why I raised it.
All good.
Good old AI. So so with with having a gun, in my opinion, you can't go too small. For a guy my size, I'm 6'3", I weigh around 280-ish or so, and I've always been a big dude.
Mhm.
For me, a Glock 19 is the perfect gun for me. And the reason
Mhm.
why I say this is that you don't get a chance to fix your grip if you unfortunately are ever in a gunfight.
Mhm.
So as I like to say, the first grab is the girl, and then and then the gunfight is a dance, and you got to dance with the girl that you brought to the dance.
Mhm.
So if you have too small of a gun, you might not be able to get that good grip on you because that's going to be the grip that you're going to have to fight for your life with.
Gotcha.
So I'm actually not a fan of having the smallest gun that you can carry. I'm
Mhm.
actually a fan of having the largest one that you can carry
Okay.
because also the smaller the firearm is, the more likely it is to have a significant amount of recoil, and it might take you a bit longer for you to get your sights realigned.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. Give us 1 second. I am too stingy to pay for this service, so it gives us 40 minutes at a time. One moment, we're going to start this back up. And we're back. Okay, so we were talking about the size of the gun. Need a big gun. You said you like to carry the biggest gun that you possibly can, being the Glock 19. Myself, I'm a little on the not completely opposite end, but I like to carry somewhere in between. Myself, I carry a 43 XMOS or a Meta MC9.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. I like something that can fit great in your hand. Um, Definitely something that can fit great in your hand, but definitely something that doesn't print as much on top of that. Something I can move around in as well. I carry everywhere I go, possibly can. And with that, I carry in the summertime, wintertime, all that. So with that, also I do like to wear certain clothes. So I do think I do have to factor in exactly the size of the gun with it for myself. But definitely understand if you like larger guns, no problem with that. If you can make it fit into your outfit, please do, no problem.
Well, yeah, and that's what I mean by it. That's why I said the largest you can. Now there may be some times where you're in a scenario, like you said, where you're going to have to rock, well, you're rocking, a t-shirt, Bahama shorts and flip flops.
Uh,
So that, and you're 5'7", and you weigh 165 pounds. So in that, yeah, you're probably much better off with the smaller firearm. And I think that's part of the genius of like the 365 is that it gives you the same capacity as a Glock 19, but in a significantly smaller package. And
yeah.
you still have a rock solid gun. Now, I like the XL because the XL, I mean, is really good. And one of the reasons why I like the Glock is because first of all, I already have it. I've already paid for it.
Uh,
I've already trained with it. So once again, I've already paid for it. And the SIGs, although they can be as good as a Glock, they've had their issues. And to be honest with you, it doesn't make that big of a difference because, the vast majority of, God forbid, if you do get into a shootout, they call it, they call it the fives, the three fives in a gun shootout. Most shootouts happen within 5 yards of each other.
uh,
Five shots or less are fired, and it's over in 5 seconds or less.
oh
This,
yeah, oh no, the SIG does not have a problem firing. It has a problem not firing.
yeah,
Nobody
yeah,
even said
yeah,
that thing would not
yeah, but
fire.
I'm just saying, I fired SIGs a good amount, and especially if you're dealing with the quality of ammunition that I think you should have on you for self defense.
Uh,
I don't see an issue at all. But like I said, it's a Glock, and like I said, and it works for me, it's just one of those things, the same way, when I was your age, you had a good amount of dudes who were my age still singing the praises of the 1911.
yeah, yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm not
uh,
carrying carrying that concealed doesn't make any sense. The thing's a freaking boat anchor.
yeah, yeah. No, no, I got
But
you.
I do love it. Don't get me wrong. Not saying that.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Not
Definitely the place.
not saying that.
Um, I think one mistake that I made when first starting concealed carrying
Hmm.
was not paying attention to how I was going to carry in the first place. I know that sounds really dumb. We talk about concealed carry, okay, well, it's all about carrying. But no, I was like, well, I'm a bigger guy. I'm just gonna off
Hmm.
body. That's the only thing I can do. So I'm just fucking looking at everything off body. I've tried a Kydex holster once or twice, and I was like, no, I'm just off body carrying. And that's something not the case. There's actually multiple. different carry styles for multiple different body types. Even if you're a bigger guy, there are holsters out there that you can use to carry
Hmm.
IWB still and still conceal and not have to be off body. Even if you are going to off body, I still recommend the 945 Industries bag. Oops, sorry, that was unclean case beer. 945 Industries bag.
Hmm.
Love it. Guarantee if you're hiking stuff like that. But just for the everyday average man, where is it? Oh, here we go. I have the JX Fat Tech right here. This is for my Glock 19. Put it in, bam, goes right in. This right here actually sits up a little bit higher on the gun itself, so the
Hmm.
clips go higher than the average. IWB host, which usually ends around right here. This one goes all the way up to right here, puts it lower on you, sits lower, bam, gets it great. And I also just got a Filster Enigma holster, and that one is it's actually waistband free, so it operates independent of
Hmm.
the belt. It actually straps to your body, and then you can wear anything. I'm gonna try that for the summertime because
Hmm.
in summertime I like to wear a lot of things that actually don't actually have
Yeah.
waistbands on there.
Yeah.
And also sometimes you get a little too tactical. You wearing a belt everywhere, and it's like, bro, why you got a belt on the gym? It's kind of weird. But yeah, but
Well,
yeah.
but my belts don't look like tactical belts.
Oh
Thankfully,
no, I'm saying
they just
like
look
some
like steel
places
belts.
you don't like for instance, if I'm like in the summertime, if I'm wearing an outfit, like a lot of my summer outfits don't actually have belts on them, like they just
Oh,
don't
okay.
like they don't have belts on them.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And,
like stuff like that. Yeah,
and that's what happens. Yeah, because now if you're carrying, you're now in a
yeah.
lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm gonna say so. So like everything you wear has a belt on it. It's like yeah, like not
Yeah.
every outfit requires a belt,
Yeah.
but if you're only wearing one specific way, that's something like bro, like you got a belt on in the gym. That's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But that's all. It's but like if you're only carrying, but yeah, but like my thing was not testing all belt styles. Also, another mistake that I made,
Hmm.
and I'm going to let you guys know this. I'm not trying to sound elitist. I'm just being real with y'all. I didn't start with the proper funds for concealed carry. And what I
Hmm.
mean by that is I did not have the money to be able to conceal carry properly. And I made a big mistake with that. Concealed carry shouldn't be taken lightly. You shouldn't cheap out on it. I'm not saying that you need to spend $3,000, $4,000 buying a staccato, a Gucci belt, and its big holster as well. But
Yeah.
no, but if you cannot afford to simply buy a $85 Codex holster and a couple of, and maybe 100 rounds of collar pointed ammunition to make sure that it runs through your gun, maybe now's not the time to conceal carry, or you might not be able to use hollow points at this time. You might need to use just regular FMJ bullets at the time because that's what you can afford.
Or
But
buy a Glock.
correct, or just buy a Glock.
It'll
But yeah,
work.
like yeah, but I made the mistake of thinking that okay, well, I'm just gonna buy this. That's what I can afford, and that's it. And
Yeah.
no, no, you can't do that, man.
I
uh,
struggle carry.
yeah, but like there is a cost to doing this.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure you know that. So save up your money, buy something that's reliable, but also make sure you can afford the ammunition with it. I don't want you going out there and buying a P365 macro and you only got 10 rounds ammunition. Because at that point you are no better than a person with a knife. And
Yeah.
if all you can afford is a high point, but you got 1,000 rounds of ammo, get to it. Shouts
Yeah.
out to you, get to it. Get the training. That's
Yeah.
life, but get
Well,
to it.
yeah. Well, just to let you know, most of the distances that you're in gunfights in, a knife is just as deadly.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
a knife is just as deadly. Put me in a phone book. I don't want a gun. I want a blade.
Uh-huh. Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
thankfully I know how to use a blade. But also one onto I'm sorry. What was the next topic? If even though I think I might remember it.
Oh, the next topic we're gonna talk about is if we're a beginner, let's say we're
Hmm.
talking to a person who has I'm gonna start out with an actual budget that I think
Please.
is a modest budget, which you start out with. People say $1,000. I think $1,000 is unrealistic, and especially in today's economy. If you tell somebody to spend $1,000 willy-nilly or spend $1,000 to start off with something as a beginner, no.
Hmm.
$500. I'm gonna start at a $500 budget to conceal carry. What does that look like? What are you telling to get?
Okay. I'm gangster.
Okay,
I'm a big Taurus fan. I'm
absolutely.
a massive Taurus fan.
I ain't man.
I own one, two. three, and I've owned several other Tauruses over the years.
Uh,
I'm a big Taurus fan. I would say get the Taurus, either the GX4 or the Taurus T9C Gen 3 or the T3 Gen 9. Yeah, but either one of those. I have one. I've carried it. I'm a huge fan of it. I mean, I've run gun courses with that thing and had half of the people laugh at me. And meanwhile, they're up there, fiddling, with their with their Gucci gun, trying to do
Excuse me.
whatever. And meanwhile, every time I want to bang, I get a bang.
Hey, towards walks a can can run. That's what I think, man.
Yeah, exactly,
Uh,
exactly.
uh,
I have Canics too, but
uh-huh.
I would say either get that or get a used Canic. Don't get the new one. And this is big that I want to say to the audience. Do not sleep on the used firearm. You
Absolutely.
do
Please.
not need to buy a
Please.
brand new firearm
Not at
under
all.
no circumstances. If I'm not mistaken, and I forgot who did the research. I can't remember it right now. The average person never puts triple digits of rounds down the pipe of their handguns. So you're buying something that's good, and the barrel alone is good for at least 15,000 rounds. Those things run and run and run simply because of the pressures that are in them. They're not as high as rifle pressures. So I would say get a used one, get one of those. And to be honest with you, and this is where we might differ, and that's okay. I'm actually more of a fan of getting training than getting good setup. So my thing is that if you start off with $500, take $200, buy a Taurus or buy a Canic, a used one. Take another $50 because thankfully ammo is cheap right now. Take another $50 to $60, buy some ammo, and spend $150 on a course. I think it's much more important for you to do that. And one of the reasons why is that I'm a big fan of the two-way community, because the two-way community, we tend to be very generous with each other. And so I would say get training, because your training will help you more than any equipment that you can buy. Then you can go on Amazon. You can get a cheap belt for $15-$20. It's only going to last you maybe 5 months.
Uh-huh.
Between 3 and 5 months. It's only going to last you that, but it'll be the stiff gun belt that you need. You can get once again a cheapo, IWB hard Kydex holster that's going to dig into your side, but it'll last for a while. And then you're going, and then as you're doing it, as you said, and as I said, you will evolve, because it's rare that the first kit that you get, and by kit we mean everything that you use in order to get something done. It's very rare that your first kit is going to be the kit that you settle on, because
Mhm.
it simply takes time. Because one of the other things that I think we're battling against is our preconceived notions about what carrying is going to be like. As you well know, the idea of carrying and the reality of carrying are not the same animal.
Absolutely. The first firearm that I purchased, again, I got from a good friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
was a CZP-01.
Uh-huh.
That is a very solid firearm.
Oh
Very
my
solid
God, it's
firearm. Great,
but it's a boat
great
anchor.
firearm. Yeah, but I had that thing in the IWB, and man, I looked like a porn star walking around. Okay, okay, okay. I talk about this thing printed everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Got my pants dragging down. I couldn't for the life of me get this thing to stay up. I
Yeah,
was
see.
like, bro, what is wrong with this? And then again, that's what I started out with. I was like, hey, and it just not working. But
Mm-hmm.
if I have $500, I'm going a similar route. Here's where I'm gonna change up a bit though.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be very honest with y'all. If I had $500, I'm going to PSA. I'm getting me a palmetto. I'm getting me a
The
PSA
dagger.
dagger, compact, brand new gun. I'm not doing anything with it.
A Glock.
Okay, okay, there you go. It's a Glock clone, a little bit cheaper. It's based,
Yeah.
it's based on the dagger. The dagger itself is it's based on the
Gen 3.
19. It's based
Yeah.
on the Gen 319. The
Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
dagger compact is based on the 48, and I want to say the micro dagger is based on the 43. Um, with that. I'm grabbing the full size or the compact, whichever one they had the special on. I'm not changing anything with that. I do want to say
Nope.
that for your everyday carry, you want to treat that like your daily driver. Your daily driver is turnkey. You don't do any modification to your daily driver. Don't do many modifications to your EDC. You buy it and you train with that.
Yep.
After that, I'm going to my local gun show and I'm buying the most ammo I can for $150.
Hmm.
With that, I'm buying the most ammo I can at my local gun show. I'm not going online for that ammo because I got to pay for the shipping. And
Hmm.
y'all want to know how much shipping is? I'm at you're straight up paying for lead. You're paying to ship lead. That's very expensive. Okay. We talk about like it goes by weight.
Yeah.
Paying to
Yeah.
ship lead. That's a very
Lead,
expensive.
brass, and iron.
Correct. I would definitely go to your local gun show, go on the last day at the last 2 hours and try to make a deal there and try to get your ammo from there. And then, like I said, with the PSA dagger, you're gonna get that on special, probably around $250. So you're
Hmm.
gonna spend that. Additionally, you got 400, and then with that, I'm taking that last $100 and I'm actually going to my local range and I'm signing up for their training courses.
Hmm.
And here at my local range here, I'm a member of Silver Eagle Group here. And the Silver Eagle Group has a training package where it's $95 a month. That $95 a month includes unlimited range time, also includes one training course a month included in that price. So you get one training a month, and then you get unlimited range time to train with that training that you receive once a month, and you continue to pay that for however long you can. So you're going to get continuous training. You're going to get the practice on the training that you're getting for no additional cost there. It's all wrapped up into there, and that'll make you a better shooter from there and get you where
Yeah.
you need to be. And that's where you need to start at. You're gonna see a lot of videos telling you, should you get the P365 macro versus the Hellcat Pro Comp versus the
Yeah. This Gucci or that Gucci?
yeah,
Yes.
correct. Versus Staccato P versus the like look, um, those are all great guns.
Yeah.
I'm not
Versus
gonna
the new CZ or whatever.
Correct. Those are all great
Yeah.
guns. I'm not gonna tell you those
No.
aren't great
Yes.
guns.
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie to you. I'll tell you, oh, that is lying to you. No, but I'll be honest, the two-way community is like any other community. We got a lot of salesmen out here, okay?
That's
And
right.
everybody trying to make a dollar. Okay, and everybody trying to
As
make a
we
dollar.
call them, we call them tactical.
Correct. You got a lot of
Yeah.
tactical guys out there.
Hmm.
And again, they're gonna give you reviews or stuff, tell you this one, this trigger pull has this, your trigger pull has that. If you're brand new to this, I guarantee you, you will not know the difference. Okay.
Yeah, as somebody who left the two-way community only because I was raising you guys, and
Uh,
then I was able to come back. Yes, it takes thousands of rounds in order to start to feel the difference between different types of triggers.
correct.
So yeah,
Um, are
so
they
yeah,
talk of, are they gonna talk about guns the way that chefs talk about food? Okay.
yeah,
Okay, they're gonna talk about mushy triggers, things of this nature. They're gonna talk about the way to
crisp,
spray, to
crisp
snap, yeah,
triggers.
crisp,
Yes,
stuff like that. And again, those things matter to true art and professional and aficionados of the two-way community. We are we are not talking to those people. We are talking to
no,
beginners here and people who want to get
yep,
proficient. Those people here, when you pull that trigger, it's gonna go boom. That's what we're worried about here. That's what we
yep,
talk about the basic mechanics to get into
yep.
that. So I'm not gonna tell you don't listen to these people. I will say take what they say and back it up a bit. We're looking at this from a base way. This way. When you teach somebody how to cook, we're not gonna teach them how to cook on a Wagyu steak. We're not going to do that. Okay. Okay. We're not. We're going to start on grits and eggs. All right. So we're starting with the grits and eggs here. These are the guns you're going to get for the grits and eggs. Again, I'm talking about a PSA dagger, talking about a Glock 19, Gen 3, Gen 4, if you will. We're talking about used guns at your local pawn
Oh
shop.
yeah, oh yeah.
We're talking about used guns at your local gun store as well. Take those. If you have a little bit of money to splurge, I would just say just buy a brand new Glock if you want to, but or a brand new Taurus or a brand new Canon TC9 or a Meta MC9,
Yeah.
stuff of that nature again.
Yeah, they're
Um,
incredible. They're incredible. They're incredible firearms. So with any of those, I don't think you can go wrong by any means. But I think that the most important thing is training, because what happens is that you tend to have the good streak at first, and then you start thinking about what is your press, what is your sight alignment, all that, and then you dip, but then you develop the skills and you come back up because there's old expression that there's a pile of lawyers behind every round that leaves your barrel.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And last but not least, I would get a way to defend yourself in court.
Yep.
Some people call it insurance, people call it retainer, have you do it. I'm a fan of attorneys on retainer myself. I'm actually trying to get over there. Haven't even got over there yet. To be very transparent with y'all. I'm currently with Firearm Legal Protection. That's who I pay monthly. They are an insurance company, which I'm trying to get away from currently, to be honest. Just because I'm not really a fan of insurance companies when it comes to dealing with a legal situation. I'd rather deal with a lawyer directly. So I'm looking forward to have an attorney on retainer. It's actually a company literally called attorneys on retainer
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
does that. Or you can seek out a local attorney, ask them what their fee is. A lot of people don't know that, but if you live in a community, any community, you can literally approach any attorney there and be like, "Hey, I have a firearm. What does this cost?" They have no problem letting you know, "Hey,
Yep.
defend this is going to be that. Need my services is going to be this." They have no problem. They're business like everybody else. They're looking for work too.
Hmm.
So they have no
Yep.
problem doing that. But yeah,
Yeah.
please make sure that you defend yourself um, legally as well as physically. Both those things matter. Both those things deal with your life. Both of those things can mess up your life as well. You can have all the firearms in the world. You can have all the training in the world. But if you fire that round and the judge and the court system deems that you were not supposed to fire that round, and you did not have the proper people to defend you in the court, you will be sitting doing football numbers.
Or even if you don't, even if you never get charged, or even if you never get convicted of a crime,
Oh yeah, let's
like
say you
that.
never get charged criminally. Then you have the
Yeah.
civil battle.
Yep. There's often a times it's a civil battle, and
Correct.
that's why that's one of the reasons why you want to also in getting training. One of the things that they do train you to do is how to conduct yourself initially. God forbid if you've ever had to be in a position to utilize your firearm in self defense.
Correct.
Because yeah, because a lot of people will sue you. Matter of fact, I'm going to give you old geezer story real quick. Bernhard Goetz, he was a New York City subway vigilante back in the mid '80s. These guys came over to rob him, and he shot them. Shot several of them, and one of them lived. And so they ended up trying him because this is New York. New York was in its change, and also there was some vigilantism behind it, but it was, in my opinion, it was a very clean shoot. And so they wheeled this guy out, the one that didn't die. So they wheel him out, and unfortunately, due to his injuries, he had like the mental capacity of a 4-year-old. And he's like, that's the guy who did bad to me. Bam, like $4 million judgment on him. And this is the guy who was trying to rob him, and he got a $4 million judgment against his victim.
Yeah. I
That
mean,
happens, yeah. Bernhard Getz.
in DC, we had a DC um public servant. Uh there was a kid robbing vehicles in
Yep.
this area, robbed a
14.
vehicle, robbed a
Excuse me,
vehicle on
sorry.
his property.
Mm-hmm.
The man shot him, shot and killed the teenager,
Mm-hmm.
and he was found guilty of negligent homicide, gave him football numbers, got 7 years. He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
These things happen.
And and I'm sure he's going to get sued by the kid's parents or kid's
Absolutely.
family. Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, the fight doesn't stop
Mm-hmm.
when you fire the gun. It only starts.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so let's not know that.
Yep. But I would still say that it's worth it to do so because I've seen some pretty impressive things here in Prince George's County because we've had several self-defense shootings and they tend to drop out of the news cycle very rapidly. And in my opinion, the reason is that they're not charging these folks. They know what's up. They don't want this to get out there.
Oh,
So
really?
what
Yeah.
so what they do is that they just take it out of the news and they're like, go away.
Oh,
There've been several over the past few years. There've been several significant self-defense shootings. And like, yes, it looks like it's this, that, and the other. You hear the story once, and that is it. At
um,
first, at first they would have the parents on or the family saying, oh, my baby, he didn't do nothing. He was just starting to get his life together. And I'm sorry. And to the audience, please don't take my criticism of that viewpoint as just an outright dismissal. If we want to play in the Victim Olympics, I'll do it. I'm from the hood. You couldn't get more hood than where I came from. This man right here knows exactly where I'm from, and he's been there more than once. And the reason why I say that is that these were not good people. Just because you're black, just because you're poor, it doesn't automatically make you good. And these were people who were acting maliciously towards others, and it backfired on them spectacularly. And that's all that happened. And so my thing is that, just because to say that poor people have to steal is an insult to poor people, because it means that we have no agency and we have no self-control. But I'm sorry,
Correct.
that's what different.
No,
That's what different.
definitely it takes the humanity away from the person itself.
That's correct. Yep.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, there was a UFC fighter who just got a sentencing. Um, found out his son's daycare
Yep.
provider was molesting him, and he ran the man down trying to gun him down. He still got 5 years for that. The
He's doing
judge,
another year and a half because he gave him
yeah,
time served and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
the judge will give him time served for the first 3 years of it, but with that, the judge just say, we can't have a lawless society, rightfully so. Can't be vigilant, can't be taking justice in your own hands while in the court system. But again, and that was for somebody who clearly was doing
Bad thing.
a a unforgivable crime, if you will.
Yep.
And
And he got more so convicted because he was firing in the direction. He was
uh,
being reckless
again,
towards other people around him.
we have laws for a reason. Okay,
Yep.
okay, okay,
Exactly.
okay.
Yep.
You can't fire him Democratic. You can't fire him
Yep.
Republican.
Yep. Can't do
Okay,
it.
okay. No
Yep.
matter what,
Yep.
and no matter what. So again, like these laws matter. I want you to make sure that that y'all know that when you have a firearm, it should only heighten your sense of awareness. It
That's
should
right.
only heighten your ability to have compassion. It should only make you more empathetic.
Yep.
Owning a firearm should make you a better person.
Yep.
I'll be the first one to say that. It should make you a better person. It should make you want to stray from confrontation. If
There's
you
an
are more,
old there's an
oh,
old English proverb that says an armed society is a polite society.
correct, correct. So if you do not feel like you had the capacity to have more empathy when owning a firearm, I would challenge you not to own that
That's correct.
firearm. Okay. You are not a person that needs a firearm. Now, I'm first to tell you. I believe everybody has the right to own firearms, and I believe everybody should own firearms. I'll be the first to tell you. Some people don't. Some people can't cross bridges. Some people can't get on airplanes. Some people don't need to own a firearm. Okay, but you should have the right to do all three. That's just my opinion. But hey, it's been another episode here with Tac-Tee and Senior Tac-Tee. We're gonna see y'all next week. We're gonna keep these going. We're not gonna stop. We love y'all. Cherish y'all. Stay on. Stay protected and stay safe out here. It's a beautiful world. Just want to keep y'all living. Thank y'all. See you on the next one.